Capricorn, it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect. This is your reading for the next 7 days from around the 8th of September or for whenever you come across this reading. It is a general. The oracle card for this week is the Lantern Fairy. This is about being shown a way through a barrier that you've reached in your life. And I'll read you a little bit from this before I get into the story. But this is the wall is coming down. This is the fairy's role to help you move beyond the wall. You have to trust her. She will guide you. So there's something coming to an end or has come to an end here for you, Capricorn. A true end. This is about hitting the brick wall. You could try digging under it. You could climb over it. Or you could try taking down the wall brick by brick. But if you follow me, I can show you a place where the wall has already come down and where you can move through this obstacle without pain. Away from a life challenge will present itself. Stubborn thinking can be changed. Old patterns are being removed little by little, but you will need to trust. Old shielding against certain energies needs to be replaced and reworked as it's no longer in line with what you wish for, and in fact may be proving to be a barrier which is keeping you isolated instead of protected. Avoid all that comes from anger, hatred, judgment, blame and ridicule. In terms of isolation, this would represent the Tower card here. I always see the Tower card, especially here next to the garden, as more of a public event, and I struggle to, shrink it down to some personal story. But this is very much about business or the government in the main. And this can be about something that's coming public, or it can just represent, the collective being in isolation. And there's outrage about this with the whip. There can even be demonstrations. There might even be violence in society. It is most definitely some sort of possible accident, even like an aggressive conflict, an emotional conflict that is coming through in this reading. And as I say, I tend to see it as a collective reading when I do see this kind of combination, but you might be able to move it into your own circumstances here. The Tower card, now this is the houses it represents underneath. So it can be isolation, it can be separation. I am getting this is probably like, possibly, and there's 2 males involved here and maybe 1 female. And at least one of these men might be a father or a father figure given his archetype. If the Tower relates to business, this is an issue. This can literally be bankruptcy, and it's like, it's something that's been decaying for some time with the mice here. There's an ending here. And yet this with the scythe is about, it can be about cutting things out, but it's almost like it is sudden, but at the same time it has been dwindling for some time. It's almost like I don't particularly see anyone being surprised by the situation here, and yet there is some sort of sudden maybe infestation that creates an ending in business or in terms of separation and isolation. I'm coming back to the fact, obviously, coronavirus. I mean, this can represent with this combination mortuaries, end of life care, hospices, that type of thing. But there is to do with business or isolation. It's something that has been going on for some time. I don't think it's new, and yet there's some sort of abruptness here. And this abruptness, I don't like to see it next to the whip card, especially the scythe and the whip, both really challenging cards, would represent, as I say, some sort of like, violence, possibly that becomes public or in the collective. This can be an event, a demonstration. There's like anger coming up here, and it may be directed towards the government, it may be directed towards business, or this could be you and your business partner, for example. I mean, it could be that you're in isolation from your, a romantic partner. And that's something that's been festering. The ending has been festering for a while, and yet there's some sort of abruptness here with the scythe and the whip. There is a man here, so I'm assuming this is you, Capricorn, or the person you're dealing with. I do get a feeling there is. I've got my Jack of Spades here, who's usually an earth sign, and I've got my Jack of Clubs. He's the biggest issue. The Jack of Clubs is a big issue. This is an aggressive individual, and I do have the Knight of Wands down here, which seems to be representing him as well. There's most definitely some sort of ending here. If it's been a long drawn ending, or if there's been an ending in the past, but it's been like gnawing away at you, it's something that's still festering is what I'm getting. You may be connected to this person, you know, through business, for example. It doesn't need to be romantic. There is something that ruptures here, and it comes through an argument, really, with the whip card here. It can just be something coming back around again, but it can be about cleaning house. I tend to see it, oopsie, upside down. It's arguments, and yet with the I mean, it could be an event that you're attending together. I don't know. There's some sort of publicity here with the Garden card. It can be like a gathering. It can be a party. It can be a seminar. There's some sort of event here. A gathering of, it's public is what I'm going to say, Capricorn. It's public. It might be an argument in public that, you know, just erupts. Maybe it's just like a family gathering here, and things get out of hand because it has been like animosity. There's animosity here. There's judgment. There's blame. There's festering emotions here. And this man, who may be you or maybe who you're connected to, is under the house of the moon. Now that can be about job in the main, but it's also about dreams and intuition. This is someone who's coming through with the Seven of Wands, someone who would very much like to fight for their dreams, if you like, but it's also someone who feels that they are in direct competition, or indeed just want to fight for something. This can be really stiff competition. It's usually on the work front with the wands here, but doesn't have to be. I do have a female at the base of the deck with the bear, and this can indicate a mother or a female boss, CEO, or just a very, very powerful female figure here. There may be competition for a woman, for example. I don't know if this is someone who seems maybe even determined to fight for their dream. And yet there's something very off here in terms of how it pans out. There's way too much aggression for a start. The mice is a challenge. The coffin's a challenge. The scythe is a challenge. The whip is a challenge. It's all a fucking challenge. And we've got the Seven of Wands. And yet there is a clear solution. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I will take you some advice. But I do have the Knight of Wands with the Ten of Swords. So this is confirming this ending with the coffin. A painful ending. A painful realization with the Ten of Swords. It is utter exhaustion. And with the Knight of Wands being here, and I am looking at specifically my Mythic Tarot deck, obviously the Knight of Wands in general, it can be promiscuous, it can be unreliable, it can be volatile. He's got a very changeable nature. This is someone who acts without thinking through the consequences of their actions. But in my Mythic Tarot, this is Bellerophon, something like that. Basically, he's a talented individual. He has great ideas and great enthusiasm. He actually masters, you know, how to ride Pegasus to go up and kill the Chimera. But ultimately his undoing is his own arrogance, his own boastfulness, because how he goes about the task is I think he rides above to Olympus. So it's the abodes of the gods, basically, but he goes above them. So, you know, because he's fucking arrogant, basically. Yeah. And Zeus, as ever, gets utterly pissed off with him and sends some sort of fly that, you know, bites the wing of Pegasus, and that's him. That's his ultimate death. I mean, he even killed his own, he killed a rival, he killed his own brother, but it wasn't through malice, it was through exuberance. You know, is this someone who literally cannot control their impulses? Is who the Knight of Wands is. And it is this attitude, it is this, you know, boastfulness and arrogance that, you know, they are in some way infallible and immortal that ultimately brings about an ending here. I don't know who's ending what, I'll be honest. When I see the Tower card, it can just be like to do with isolation, but it does really speak of authority and businesses and the government, and it always feels like, you know, big business here. So this might be, you know, someone who's fighting for their job, fighting for their dream. Maybe they feel that they've been, you know, ripped off. The Mice is about corruption as well. It can be about theft, something that is taken from you, and being determined to fight for it, albeit it seems to be almost publicly and aggressively. But it is almost the fact that the Knight of Wands is here that is creating the biggest issue, not the Seven of Wands, because stiff competition is stiff competition. Sometimes you got to fight for what you are due, and if it be a job or corruption, whatever it is. But it's the Knight of Wands who doesn't have the ability or the maturity to handle his own emotions and arrogance, that he misses things, he makes mistakes, he gets above his station almost, and that's what creates his ultimate demise. So there is a clear solution here, Capricorn, for however this story relates to you. But if this is the sort of energy you're embodying, this is what needs to be tempered. I don't know if it's regards to business or, you know, a mother or a feminine. I have got the Nine of Cups in the base of the deck in the reverse. And this is my when Psyche and Eros come together, and they are sort of, it's a wish card basically, and it's in reverse. So there's a lack of fulfillment here. There's a lack of pleasure. There's a lack of coming together in a, you know, emotional, happy way here. And I do have the Queen of Cups also in reverse. There's a feminine in the mix somewhere. There is a feminine. So a story that can go a number of ways, basically, Capricorn. I hope it's helpful for you. I'm trying not to narrow it down too greatly. So, advice, please, Spirit, for Capricorn for this reading. Advice for Capricorn for this reading, which is a bit confusing. Father Sky. I've got two fathers here. So it's definitely, I mean, there's strong masculine energy here. I mean, I see there's feminine energy, but it's very much under the deck. This is about a father. This is literally God himself. Trust in the unknown. I'll read it and I'll take one more on him. This might be you, Capricorn. Father Sky. Oh yeah, song. What did I write down? Time hasn't changed a thing, and I will never forget you. So yeah, apply that where it fits in your story. I'm really trying not to narrow it down. Trust your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father. Know that he is lovingly leading you forward. You are a co-creator of your life, and every thought, feeling, intention and emotion you have is creating the road ahead. With that being said, you don't need to know every single detail of what is going to unfold before you. When this card appears, you are being guided to step back and get out of your own way, because there is a greater power that is not only around you but within you, and Father Sky is creating the best experience imaginable for you. This card can also appear when there are opportunities to improve the father connection in your life. If your father is in heaven, know that his spirit is drawing close, and if he is on earth, there's an opportunity to heal something, whether past or present. Yes, this is a strong masculine energy here. I'm not sure. What advice does Father Sky have for Capricorn? Advice, please, for Capricorn for Father Sky. Let's see. Courthouse turning round there. Father Sky's advice. Poverty. There's a mature woman here. Distance horizons, poverty, the official person, and the mature woman. Distance horizons is about is dropping the weight. It can be about a physical move, but it's usually about some sort of desire, wish, coming back to the moon card here. And yet I don't know, maybe it requires money that you don't have, but the poverty card can relate to a poverty consciousness, just not feeling that you've got enough. I'm very much drawn to the fact that he's right next to this official person. This is almost like a beggar going, like, you know, cap in hand to someone in authority, probably a father, maybe father and mother, to help them out of a situation. The official person does not need to represent a person. It can be anything official. So it can be like going to the bank. It can be, you know, applying for a Visa card. It is approaching someone in authority to request something. It can be a very rigid character who is, you know, dogmatic in their approach to life and how things are. Can be someone that's very difficult to relate to, certainly on an emotional level here. I am getting feeling this is probably someone's parents, to be perfectly honest, and maybe, you know, you need a helping hand. But there is most definitely a father element here that would be that's up for healing if it's handled appropriately. Certainly not with this amount of aggression, and volatility is not the way to handle things. Capricorn, that's your reading. Please like, subscribe, look after yourselves. Talk to you soon. Bye.